And rise for the month of Ramadan. Oh, Ramadan.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. I am Professor Dr. Muhammad Ahmad Qadri, teaching at the University of Karachi and founding director of Islamic Educational Cultural Research Center, USA and Canada. I believe our program, which is a unique, very special, comprehensive and academic research-based program named Blessings of Ramadan, would be helping us. It is an approach with such a way to understand simply Quran and Sunnah from different viewpoints, interpreted by different scholars, but leading us to the real source of Islam. And source of Islam is Quran, and the second source for proper understanding of Islam is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There are so many questions regarding Ramadan. There are so many interrelated issues regarding Ramadan, and benefits uncountable. Just you start to count down, you won't be able to count, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself is reward of this month. That's why our friends, they ask, fasting is very hard. It's very hard to be hungry, thirsty from dawn to sunset. Why? What is the philosophy of this kind of exercise? Why we have been asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be like this? Naturally, these are serious questions and need comprehensive academic research-based answers. That's why we have chosen a bit different topic. Why Saum, fasting, is mandatory. This is a question as well as today's topic. Quran says regarding the month of fasting, regarding the philosophy of Saum or Ramadan. On one occasion says, Shahr Ramadan allazi unzila fihi al-Quran, and the other ayah refers to the term of kutiba. Kutiba is mandatory. Kutiba ala allazina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. And the reason is that so that you should be among the pious people. This is the reason. So coming back to our topic, why fasting is mandatory. Following our tradition, we have as usual a scholar. He is a renowned scholar. I believe you would enjoy his input regarding the question. He would himself introduce his academic work, inshallah ta'ala, as he would be starting talking about the term of mandatory. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Dr. Saab, and welcome to all the viewers. My name is Muhammad Rauf Khan, and I'm a teacher at Al Furqan Scholars Academy, and I'm also director of Al Mishkat Islamic Institute, which is an online Islamic institute. So the topic of our today's program is that, as Dr. Saab mentioned, that why fasting is obligatory. And as you have mentioned the purpose as well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyamu kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. O Mu'mineen, fasting is prescribed upon you just like it was prescribed for the people before you, so that you may become muttaqoon, pious people. So the purpose has been mentioned, so that you attain taqwa. Or in other words, I can use this word, purifications of your own self. So purification of the self, this is the purpose of fasting.
So the question, Brother Rauf Saab, which has been put before us.
Yes.
Why fasting or Saum is mandatory. Answer is in the ayah of Quran. The verse of Quran itself is
Exactly.
comprehensive and explanatory.
Yes.
It says, Kutiba ala allazina min qablikum. This is a reference of past or historical event, that you're not the only one.
Yeah.
You're not the nation or the ummah. Before you, there are so many nations, or there were so many nations. Right now you can see them. Right now you can refer to their names like Christians, Jews, and they were asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to obey and follow. And naturally there are so many references from Christianity, from Judaism. We see that Quranic ayah is reference for them. Second thing is that reason of fasting, the philosophy of fasting, the term kutiba, it is your duty. You have to bow down before Allah's command. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. This is answer to our question. لَعَلَّكُمْ, so that. And this is what for? This is for our own benefit. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need anything from anyone.
Indeed, this is the aqeedah of Muslims, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not dependent and is in no need of anyone.
Exactly.
If we are doing worship, it is for our own self. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in no need of anything. I would also like to say that I use the word purification of self. So basically, when we try to attain taqwa, there are a few hurdles. Those hurdles are: number one, shaitan, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned, and He has said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I will try my level best to deviate your people.
But still people say, and there is a hadith, alhamdulillah, that shaitan has been put into in the circle. Circle means some people that sijin, the term of sijin has been used. People say, while shaitan has been kept into that circle, he is not allowed to move out from there. Why people commit sins during Ramadan?
Yeah, because shaitan has been kept away, but there are a few more hurdles as well. The second hurdle is our dunya, the people around us. They ask us to do sin, directly or indirectly. Number three, there is our nafs, that is also known as a lower self.
That soul, yourself.
In simple words, I would define it with an example. When we sit for iftar, there's someone inside us that asks us, okay, you will eat this first, then you will drink the juice, and then you will eat that. So the lower self inside us, this is known as nafs. So this is also an hurdle beside shaitan. Even if the shaitan is kept away, the nafs is still there. A lot of scholars have said that nafs, this is our greatest enemy. An enemy.
So that's why for them, I think that this would be appropriate to mention from Urdu Sher by Hazrat Allama Iqbal Rahmatullah Ta'ala, a greatest Sufi poet, a well-known scholar. Tera dil to hai sanam ashna, tujhe kya milega namaz mein? This is again a question mark. And I would translate into English for our brothers and sisters, those who don't know Urdu. Your heart, your feelings, your attachment is purely known as worshipper of your own wishes, your own thought. What are you searching in Salah? It does not mean that Allama Iqbal Nauzubillah min zalik is insulting Salah. It means that your intention should be pure for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you bow down, then there would be nothing else except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Indeed.
And this is really an honor for a moment to be believer like a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why he is called Abd.
Indeed.
The term of Abd has been used.
Slave, that is.
Slave means if we are slave
has no wish. Slave has no wish.
Yeah.
Slave surrenders completely to his Lord.
And slave, the word or the term of slave does not refer to that meaning. Usually people think, slavery system has been introduced in Islam. No, it is not like that. It means submission, proper submission, negating everything in the universe except that I am slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one who becomes real or true servant, then he gets everything. Har ke wo makhdum ra khadim shavad. A person who wants to be honored, first he will have to serve somebody. And this is interaction.
Very nice thoughts, Dr. Saab. Thank you so much. I would like to say that some people might be thinking that, like, how can we attain taqwa just by keeping ourselves thirsty or just by keeping ourselves hungry? How can we attain taqwa? Basically, as I told you, that one of the obstacles in attaining piousness is our nafs, or in other words, our wishes. So basically, when we keep fast, we are actually suppressing our nafs. We are sacrificing our wishes, because our nafs is saying eat, and we are not eating just for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our nafs is asking us to drink, but we are giving up this wish just for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are not having any other relations just for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So basically, fasting gives us this concept to sacrifice our wishes for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we are doing this continuously for 30 days, we are developing this habit of giving up of our evil wishes. So this is the method which great Sufia has mentioned in a lot of books, Imam Ghazali in Ihya ul-Ulum and other great scholars, that if you want to attain taqwa, you have to sacrifice wishes, at times your valid wishes, your legal wishes. Indeed.
Rahmatullahi ta'ala alayh, Hazrat Khwaja Buddin Chishti Rahmatullahi ta'ala alayh, Hazrat Khwaja Naqshband Rahmatullahi ta'ala alayh, Hazrat Ali Hajwari, known as Data Bakhsh Rahmatullahi ta'ala alayh.
Some people say that Sufism is something apart from Islam. No, it's not apart from Islam. Like Sufism is a synonym for Islam. So basically, these methods of Sufism have been derived from these worships. Like fasting, I just gave you an example.
And again, going back to our question, why fasting
is obligatory,
is mandatory or obligatory or compulsory,
yes,
or like a duty. And Quran says kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum. So there are so many references from books. We see that there are 25 hours fasting was and is for Jews to follow. We also see specific days for Christians, and they are very much involved in living sins during that period, and they want to attach themselves with Allah, with God. And Christians, they also say that this is time to amend yourself, to correct yourself, to attach yourself with the churches. And Jews, they also follow the term of fasting with such a manner that they are very much attached with synagogue. So all these things are have been referred. While we see in Islam improves humanity.
Indeed.
It gives you a sense of understanding regarding your own perception, your own wishes, your justified requirements. All these things are very well known during Ramadan. So Ramadan, we eat so many things, alhamdulillah, we get so many fruits and food and gifts from our brothers and sisters, right. And the great gift is Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's why Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala has mentioned in Quran that He is the greatest gift for us.
Yeah.
So how?
Actually, some people say that fasting is very difficult for us. We can't keep fast. As you gave the examples of previous nation, I would like to ask those brothers to please give it a thought that previous nations, they used to keep fast for 25 hours. This is hadith of Bukhari Sharif, that in the beginning, Muslims were only allowed to eat after sunset only for once. If they sleep, they were not allowed to eat again. So this is a hadith that a Sahabi came to his home after sunset. He asked his wife to bring food. So meanwhile she was bringing the food, he slept. So when he woke up, so the next day, they had to fast, they cannot eat. So next day he became extremely sick. So at that time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave this benefit to us that we can eat as much as we can, like after sunset till sunrise. So this is the great difference between the fasting of previous nation and our nation. So I think that some people shouldn't say that fasting is very difficult. It's very easy.
No, I must mention Yamim Norain. This is again like we say Saum and they say Yamim Norain.
Yeah.
And this term is from the culture, from the religion of Judaism.
Okay.
And same, the other term is in Christianity, Lent, L-E-N-T, and they observe 40 days
Okay.
fasting. So these are the examples. Apart from these, so many references can be seen or traced back in history. Just the purpose of these references was to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merciful and He loves His creation. He He doesn't want to take revenge. He wants to tell you how to live, how to justify with your health, how to be justified in the community, to understand the needs of poor people, needy people, or some other people. That's why fasting is mandatory. And now I would request you to, because we are running by the shortage of time, and this is time to wind up. So say something in one sentence or two sentences, and then inshallah we will conclude our session.
My dear friends, Ramadan is the month of improving ourselves, of balancing our lives. So I would like you all, including me, to focus on our lives. First of all, we should try to remove all our bad habits that are hidden or that are visible. And then we should also try to balance our life, make an Islamic environment at our home, and we should emulate our character into the personalities of great saints and prophets alayhim assalam. Thank you.
Dear brothers and sisters, I believe today's discussion is fruitful, and we have understood that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declared mandatory the term of fasting for the nations and for the Muslim Ummah. It is up to us how we justify ourselves and how we gain these benefits from Mahe Siyam, or the month of blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just only observing fasting or keeping fasting or celebrating Ramadan does not fulfill the requirement unless we don't understand the philosophy of Ramadan. And Ramadan philosophy is to sacrifice ourselves for others, to respect everybody, creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is message of Ramadan, this is message of Quran, and this is message of humanity for all. May Allah bless all of you. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Allah Hafiz, and goodbye.
That is for dhikr, remembering Allah, and rise for the month of Ramadan.